Yes.
Yeah. So just looking down at the small script made for this vlog, we are back again with our 7th vlog after a small break.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
So to say.
December, right? I think. November maybe. Long time.
It was in the beginning of December. The last vlog was, so of course a bit. We are sorry for we haven't been out, but of course I have
been busy.
There's been a very good reason for why we haven't vlogged that much. That is because we are now going to release in early access and game preview.
Yes.
And maybe we should just introduce ourselves.
Yes.
So
I'm Søren Lundgaard from Ghost Ship Games. I'm CEO of the company.
Yeah, and you're taking care of marketing and a lot of, among other things.
Doing all things that are not directly developing the game.
Yeah, and my name is Mikkel, and I am the game director of ROCK GALACTIC.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm S, the QA and community manager. So yeah, we have been working a lot here in the last 2-3 months.
Yeah, since the last video.
We basically decided to say 1st of December. Actually, we aimed for stopping. Like we wanted the game to be done there, and starting wrapping up. As it always is with a development like this, it's kind of like a freight train. So you had this, and then you pull the brakes, and it took a month or two to stop that train. Yeah. So was in the new year before we actually had it completely wrapped down. And then we focused on the submissions for we're going out on Xbox as well, right? So
Steam. Yeah.
And those submissions takes time. We knew that, so we needed that. And then of course polishing, finding bugs, cleaning up the build. That took a lot of time.
Yeah, and just making sure that it was balanced the right way, the game, and that everything was working.
Yeah.
And then we have been working on marketing, which is taking up a tremendous amount of time from us.
So this is of course not something we've done alone. We have the publisher, Copystain, that has done a tremendous job on this part, and we have some PR partners as well as Microsoft and Valve and so on. So we have a lot of partners that we work with, but internally we've done a lot of stuff. Most of the team has the last month been working on marketing, I think.
Doing trailers and videos and screenshots and
all kinds of things.
All kinds of things that you're hopefully gonna see when we launch on Wednesday.
So it's a big kind of puzzle you set up, and you try to time everything and figure out just when are we going to launch this game? Finding out that date alone was a tricky
a puzzle.
That's right. We were looking at all the stuff that was going on. We knew we cannot do it in January because we needed to get through the submissions. So that was kind of out the question. And then we started to look at March, and that started to look a little bit busy. In February we were like, there's only seems to be Far Cry 5 as the big one at the 28th of February, and then they suddenly said that they moved to the end of March. And we're like, let's scrap that date. So that was.
I think like finding a spot where we didn't have too much competition was
what we
thought was what we tried to find out. Then of course we saw that Vermintide was announcing. We knew that they were going to announce around the same time, and I think we prefer not to have launched on the same day as they start their beta, but on the other hand, I mean, it's probably not that big a problem. I mean, we are to some degree, we're both co-op games, but we are also a very different co-op game than Vermintide. And I think we have a different audience.
Of course, there is some overlapping, but
there's some overlapping.
Definitely a huge part of our audience that just wants.
And actually, in some regard, if we, of course, it is a bit of a, you can say, a bad coincidence that we are launching the same day as Vermintide start their beta. But on the other hand, we also if you look at it in a positive way, you could say that potentially there is a spillover of us being compared with Vermintide, and so that hopefully there will be a lot of talk about us.
Yeah, and
as
we
well.
would be very honored to be compared with that.
Sure.
We're
Yes.
surely the underdog here, and
Yeah.
we can only kind of win in this situation.
Yeah.
So so there turned out to be a bit more competition. Hunt Showdown surprise launched, and and it
see
seems
that
like
coming.
when you start looking also at like later on in March, you have Sea of Thieves, right? Far Cry 5 have a big co-op focus. You also had Metal Gear Survive.
That's true. That's true.
With co-op. So when we started out on this project, we looked and there was like very few co-op focused games, and now they seem to be here along with us, right? So maybe 2018 will be the year of co-op.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, we hope.
Maybe. But I mean, we knew all along that we would have to coexist with other co-op games, right? So in that regard, it's not a big problem for us, I think. And we are an early access title, so we also have a long way to go before we reach the full release of the game. So yeah.
Yeah, and then we have this, as you say, we are a different type of games than most of the others with our exploration and the procedural terrain. It's a more, it's a different experience.
I think our game is paced differently in the sense that we have that exploration is a big part of the gameplay, and it's not just intense action. So in some way, it's a little bit more. There are periods in the game where it's a bit more relaxed, I would say. It's not always like that because then you are hit by a swarm and then it is intense action.
Yes, yeah, we can see that in the streams, right?
Yeah.
We've been following the streamers starting to pick up now. I saw an amazing stream yesterday on Twitch, and it's just so much fun to see streamers play the game and fail and laugh and and just you can see the enjoyment that we are bringing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's why we're creating games, right? Is to make people feel happy.
Yeah. Have a very great time. So here in 2 days, we are going out.
Yes.
So
and we're not nervous at all.
So how are you feeling at the moment?
Excited and nervous, and
it's like I think
and strange feeling. Culmination of.
It's a culmination of many things, right? I mean, it is both. I mean, of course we're nervous, right? I mean, it's like what is going to happen when we launch. Hopefully, it's going to go good. It's going to go well, but
I'll press that green button there.
But on the other hand, we also a bit relieved that we are now actually entering early access. We have been building up to this moment for 2 years, you can say, and it is going to be a change for us to have a game out there that we actually sell and earn some money, hopefully.
I think for the founders of Ghost Ship, it's a little more actually than 2 years in the sense that, of course, we've been working on this game for 2 years, but we are using the experience that we've built up for 15 years.
Yeah.
And this is the first time where we have had a chance to kind of like put that into a very pure product that has not all of the strange big things that goes on when you're in a bigger company, but where we could just focus on creating the game of our dream. So in that sense, it's an even more pivotal moment for us.
Yeah.
So it makes it even more exciting.
It makes it even more exciting, but it's also why it's fun, right?
It sure is. It sure is. Yeah.
Never boring.
So of course, a lot of things has to go right. There's all the things that you plan and we set up that we need to do on launch day. So back when we released. Are we running out of memory?
No, just saying it's still working properly. We always have some technical issues with the recordings.
So back when we 2 weeks ago when we announced the release date, right? And I was going to click and publish the store page instead of I misclicked and clicked revert, and then we reverted 5 days of setup work on the store page. And I was like, that's not so good. Then we fixed that in 3 hours or something because we had it all. Just had to put it in again. So there will always be things that go wrong, right? And then we'll have to fix it. And there will be when hopefully thousands of players are trying out the game, we'll also have to
see what happens.
What fires we need to put out.
But those of you who were in some of the closed alpha
and open alpha.
I mean, at one point we launched the game, or we had an alpha version of the game where we didn't have a scrolling server list.
Oh yeah. So
which we didn't expect more than 10 games to be active there. That was something we fixed quickly.
Yeah. So things like that. We get a lot of like emails and this doesn't work. Fix it.
And then we're ready. if
Yes.
If-
Yeah. So we'll
That
be ready
happens.
for that.
yeah.
We will be ready here
Yes.
in 2 days time. So after we're going to release, what can people expect to happen over the next 1 to 2 months at least?
Yeah. So after we put out the first fires and dust has settled, then we'll hopefully get into a rhythm of the regular updates, and we need to figure out exactly how fast the pace we can go, how fast the pace the players, the audience, the fans wants. But we will set up on Steam an experimental branch where we will have the newest build for the cutting edge players, and then we'll move that often, regularly to the main branch and keep updating.
Yeah, no, I think we are. That is another thing with the launch that we're really excited about, is actually going back to focusing on making the game and not making marketing material.
It's been a long stretch.
Yeah. So that's going to be really exciting.
That's going to be fun.
And we have so many ideas, and we need to, just after launch, we will have to sit down and do some planning and figure out exactly which features we will be working on, and then I think we will prepare a roadmap or something like that, so you can actually see what we are doing and follow us more detailed.
So build in a feedback survey in the game, and that will be part of our input for deciding on what to do, though we will still, of course, decide internally. Yeah.
So any special things you can say about what you hope that you're going to work on after launch?
I'm not saying anything.
Dang.
No, I mean, we have, I don't know, I would just say we have a lot of ideas, and I'm not going to promise us anything. No, we need to have the whole team together and talk about what we're going to do. And also think it would be some kind of premature, because we're launching the game on Wednesday, and then we'll get a lot of feedback, and we'll immediately be a lot wiser in regards of what the game needs or doesn't need. And I think it's going to be nice to just have that feedback with us when we start thinking about what we're going to work on.
Yes.
Yeah. But I guess this was the
Yes.
7th luck finally out.
Finally.
And hopefully we can go back to making them a little bit more regular than we have been doing.
Yeah. And
We will.
But go and buy the game on the 28th, and
on Steam and Xbox.
Yeah.
On Xbox, that is a Play Anywhere title. So if you buy that, you actually have it both in the Windows Store and on Xbox, and you can play cross-play on those platforms.
Yeah.
So that is a very huge thing. So yeah, nothing else to say. Just go and buy it.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
Yes.
And should we do it? 1,
Yes.
2, 3, rock and stone!
See you next time.
See you.